15 years ago, I graduated from college and joined China's fast-growing internet industry. The industry was moving so fast that little by little, work became almost everything in my life. Now I'm 41, and sometimes it feels like my life has been stuck since the day I graduated. Take away my job title, and I'm not sure what's left. I'm Eric. In a few days, I'm leaving this city and moving to a smaller one to try a different way of living. I don't know if this is the right decision, but if I never try, I'll never know. Before leaving this city, there are two things I need to take care of. The first thing I need to do is go to Hong Kong. Living in Shenzhen, getting to Hong Kong is actually very easy. You just cross the border. From where I live, it's only 3 subway stops to the checkpoint. As many of you probably know, in mainland China, many overseas websites and services like Google and YouTube are blocked. I used to use a VPN to access these websites and upload my videos. But this year, my VPN connection has become less and less reliable. So before leaving Shenzhen, I decided to get a Hong Kong 5G SIM card. When a foreign SIM card is roaming in mainland China, it can still access overseas internet services normally. Done. It's about $20 a month with 50 gigabytes of shared data between mainland China and Hong Kong. Now I don't have to worry about losing connection with you guys. I didn't really have anywhere else I wanted to visit in Hong Kong. More importantly, I felt that prices in Hong Kong were just too high. A random drink from a street shop could easily cost $4 or $5, while in Shenzhen, it might only cost $1 or $2. I had to head back to Shenzhen. I can take the subway from Hong Kong to the border, cross over, then take the subway in Shenzhen. It takes a little over an hour to get home. Over the years, the cost of living in Hong Kong has continued to rise. Many people in Hong Kong choose to rent apartments in Shenzhen or come here during their days off for food and shopping. I think everyone is trying to find a better way of living and make the most out of life. And that's also one of the reasons why I want to leave Shenzhen and try living in a smaller city. Since it's the weekend, there are a lot of people traveling from Hong Kong to Shenzhen today. I'll probably have to wait in a long line at the border. After passing through immigration, we're officially back in Shenzhen. Crossing the border is actually pretty simple. It's almost like taking the subway. You just scan your travel document at the gate and walk through. The whole process is actually quite fast. The only problem is, when there are too many people, the lines can get really long. I waited for about 20 minutes today. When I went to Hong Kong, I barely had to wait at all. Now we're back in Shenzhen. This is the food street near the border checkpoint. On the way from the checkpoint to the subway station, there are all kinds of restaurants and street food on both sides. The prices here are probably about half of what you would pay in Hong Kong. Honestly, it's making me a little hungry, but I'll save it for another time. Because we still have one important thing to do today. Remember the second thing I said I needed to do before leaving Shenzhen? I need to finish all the food I stocked up in my fridge, so nothing goes to waste. Otherwise, I would probably just eat here and go home. So I decided to just head home and make myself something to eat. During the typhoon a while ago, I stocked up on some food. Now I still have some tomatoes, beef, and eggs left. So today, I'm going to use them all up. First, I need to defrost the beef. For the past 15 years, most of my time was either spent at the office or traveling for work. I was rarely home. Even when I was taking a break, there were always endless work messages waiting for me to reply to. Many people have heard of China's 996 work culture, but in my industry, we joked that it was 007. 12 hours at work, another 12 hours on standby, 7 days a week, again and again. I got used to this lifestyle. Everyone around me seemed to live the same way. I also thought I had a lot of friends, people who would invite me out for dinner and drinks, and we would encourage each other. Then I left my job, and those people disappeared too. They were close to my title, not me. And while I was busy with work and everything that came with it, I slowly lost touch with the friends who were really part of my life. I still haven't found a place to live after leaving Shenzhen. While the beef is defrosting, I'm going to look for an apartment that feels right for me. Living in a big city has a lot of advantages. More opportunities, higher income, faster growth. But there is a price. Higher living costs, a faster pace of life, and pressure that never really goes away. During the pandemic, when someone tested positive, their recent travel history was sometimes made public. I saw two very different ways of living. One person in Beijing was working a second job after work and studying on weekends. Another person in a smaller city was spending his evenings at different bars. Around that time, many people were talking about this difference. People in smaller cities were enjoying their lives, while people in big cities were working non-stop just to keep everything together. Now that I finally have some time away from work, I want to experience what life feels like outside of work. I used to never have time to cook. My kitchen was basically just decoration. I either ate outside or ordered delivery. Back then, I didn't even know how much meat and vegetables were supposed to cost. But things are different now. I've started learning some simple recipes online. For example, I learned that if you cut 2 small marks on a tomato and put it in boiling water for a while, the skin comes off really easily. I used to think cooking was just a lot of trouble, but now I realize it's also a way to slow down and enjoy everyday life. It might not taste as good as food from a restaurant, but at least I can tell myself it's a healthier choice. That's the excuse I'm giving myself anyway. But living alone also makes cooking a lot more complicated. In China, people usually like to have 2 or 3 dishes with a meal and eat a little bit of everything. But when you're cooking for one person, making too much means wasting food, and making too little just doesn't feel like a proper meal. Maybe I just haven't built the habit of cooking yet, so I still only cook occasionally. When I do cook, I usually make extra and keep the leftovers in the fridge. Then I can just heat them up the next time I eat. For example, today I cooked all the ingredients I had left. A lot of people like cooking when they're in a good mood, but for me, I actually cook when I'm not feeling great. It helps me take my mind off things for a while. Since I only cook occasionally, I just bought a small electric cooker instead of a traditional wok for a gas stove. The downside is that it never gets hot enough. When I cook eggs, the egg mixture takes forever to set. And now I'm having the same problem with the beef. The juices just won't cook off completely. When I move to my new city, I think the first thing I'll buy is a proper wok. Can you guess what I'm making? It's tomato beef with scrambled eggs. I just learned this recipe online, and this is actually my first time making it. I have no idea if it's going to taste good. The main reason I made it is because these were the last ingredients left in my fridge, so I wanted to use everything up. I'm leaving Shenzhen sometime this week, so I guess this meal can be a little goodbye to the city. Honestly, it doesn't look too bad. I think it might actually turn out okay. I didn't even buy any bowls. The bowl I'm using is actually the clay pot that came with the clay pot rice I ordered before. At first, I just threw these pots away, but later I realized I could use them as bowls, so I kept them. Now I only have these two left. Today's meal is enough for 2 servings. I'll put the other half in the fridge. Tomorrow, I can just make some noodles and mix it together. I don't even need to reheat the dish. The hot noodles will warm everything up. So this is my dinner for today. Noodles mixed with tomato beef and scrambled eggs. It actually looks pretty good, although the beef is a little overcooked. But that's okay. As long as I'm full, that's enough. Sometimes living alone is just this simple. A full stomach, no hunger, a little loneliness, and a little freedom. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy my videos, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.